Morning dear students, I am back here to continue the class metals and non-metals. Okay, yesterday we have learned some important aspects of metals and non-metals which help us to understand, to know some of the introduction. Is it right? Okay, some introduction about the metals and non-metals what I have given yesterday, that is about the physical and chemical properties of metals. Is it right? So, I think you have listened yesterday's class. I think you understand in better way. Just I have given yesterday one of the introduction to you. So today we are going to understand the physical and chemical properties of the metals and non-metals. Okay, first point which we are going to learn about the physical properties of metals. Yesterday I said you some of the important physical properties of metals. Let us be explain today about the different types of physical properties. Okay, in the last class we have seen the metals and non-metals have these physical properties. What physical properties we have learned yesterday? Let us be learn one by one. Okay, the first we will go about that hardness of metals and non-metals. Okay, you know that dear students, yesterday I have given you number of examples about the blacksmith when the hammer has going to beat, and so how it is possible, is it right? So we can't able to break easily the metals, is it right? As like iron we don't able to break easily, is it? So the metals are hard in nature. When we compare to the non-metals, we take non-metal, a coal we will take, and then graphite we will take. If you just beat on it, it will become powder. Is it right? So the hardness is difference in the metals and non-metals. Metals are generally hard in nature. Okay, the second type of property which we are going to learn about the metals and non-metals is lustrous. See, lustrous means a shiny surface. So they are shiny, looks like shiny. So it have the ability to form the reflections by showing the shining movement of their surfaces. So when we compare to the non-metals, so which we call as the lustrous. What we call lustrous. Okay, the next another important aspect which we are going to learn, third property, physical property of metals and non-metals, malleability. What we call malleability. See, malleability is also one of the most important physical property. How we can able to understand what is this malleability? Dear students, especially the metals, when we are continuously beating the metals, we can able to make the thin files of these metals. Thin files. As I have explained yesterday, we can able to make the files of the aluminium food packing files. I think you have seen. Is it right? So we can able to make into thin layers. I think you have seen the iron sheets, thin iron sheets. We can able to compress it, which we call as the malleability. When we have to see in the non-metals, non-metals are non-malleable, which is can't able to make as how we are making the iron or other metals in the malleability nature. Okay, so it is not possible in non-metals. So this is third type of property. First one we have learned about the hardness of the metals and non-metals. Second one lustrous in nature, and third one we have seen about the what? Malleability. And fourth one what we are going to learn is about the ductility. So fourth property is the metals and non-metals ductility. Generally, dear students, metals are ductile, whereas non-metals are non-ductile. What is the meaning of ductility? See, dear students, metals as like the copper, aluminium, these stuff metals, we can able to make these metals into the wires. Make into the wires. So, as you have seen, copper, aluminium, we are using the wires, is it right? Even iron wires also we can able to make. Is it tanti and tanti? So we can able to make these metals into wires because of its nature called as ductility. Ductility is a nature where the metals can be able to mold into the wires. So which is very easy to be for useful formations of our life dependent uses, isn't it? Whereas non-metals can't able to because they are non-ductile. So this is the fourth type of a physical property of these metals and non-metals. And next one is fifth type. Fifth property which we are going to learn is sonorous. What? Sonorous. So if you go about the metals, metals are sonorous, whereas non-metals are non-sonorous. What is the meaning of sonorous? Sonorous means producing sound when we are beaten or when we are just let it down. It forms a sound. For example, if you are holding coins, if you are falling, just leaving it down, then you can able to find the sound is coming. Is it right? So, just in your school bell will ring. Is it right? So, when we are beating continuously to iron rods, we can able to possible to listen the sound. Is it right? So, they are sonorous. What? The metals are sonorous, whereas the metals are non-sonorous. As like the metals, they will not produce the sound. That's why they are known as a non-sonorous. Non-metals are non-sonorous. So, this is the another property. And last type of property, physical property which we are going to learn, that is the property called the good conductors of heat and electricity. So, conduction of the heat and electricity. So, metals are the good conductors of heat and electricity. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity, whereas non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. So, partially non-metal graphite can conduct the electricity. Partially, it have the ability to conduct the electricity, whereas other non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. Is it right? Just wood. If you are holding wood, even it is burning one side, we can't feel any heat. Instead of that, if you are holding an iron rod which is burning one side, we can't able to hold it because the transfer of heat. So, by using the wood or plastic, we can able to touch the electric wires, which is non-dangerous. Is it right? Whereas using the iron rod, we can't able to touch the electric wires because it conducts the electric shocks. Is it right? So, the metals and non-metals have these differences, which is helpful to understand the physical properties of these metals and non-metals. Okay, we have learned that all these physical properties. So, listen this class and understand and do the work. What work I am giving you? You have to write the differences between physical properties of metals and non-metals. Okay, thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye.